Hello, welcome back to Chatter 15 Minutes of Fame. I'm one of your hosts, Claron Sharif, and my other fabulous host, the fabulous Danielle Ward.
Good morning, afternoon,
Yeah, right.
night, night time.
So today's show is about the rise and fall of Black shows. So, I looked up some stuff, and what was the first all Black family sitcom? It was Amos and Andy. The date marked the CBS debut of Amos and Andy, a situational comedy about the outrageously funny but controversial program. Was the first ever television sitcom with an all Black cast, making it the forerunner to the Black television sitcom aired over the past 7 decades. Wow. And what was the longest running Black owned TV show? Soul Train. Yes, it was. Broadcast nationally from 1971 to 2006. It was the longest running syndicated program in the American television history. Soul Train, the brainchild of Chicago radio announcer, the late Don Cornelius, initially aired in 1970 on Chicago television station WCIU TV. Wow, a lot of history there. That I did not know. I did know that it did run for a very,
Yeah.
very long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, just a few canceled shows that some of my favorites: Underground Rock, Girlfriends, A Different World, In Living Color, The Sinbad Show, That's My Mama, What's Happening, and the list goes on and on. So, I found this article written by Mr. Kendi Adejumo this past February called The Rise and Fall of Black Sitcoms. And just a little excerpt from that. He says, while Netflix acquired a lot of Black sitcoms in 2020, the streaming platform removed a lot of them in August 2023. The sitcoms were gone from syndication for years, and nothing filled the spot and television ever since. Black sitcoms never left the viewer's heart. There is an audience waiting for a reboot, spinoff, or anything that their favorite stories could be concluded. Unfortunately, a lot of these shows were canceled because they were only important to Black community and did not have the support from their white counterparts, sorry. But we must continue to support Black led shows to make sure our voices continue to be heard. What say you, Danielle?
I'm gonna say I don't know if I necessarily believe that.
Hmm.
I don't necessarily believe that, but like I've said before, I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, right?
Hmm.
So I found a few articles, and I'm gonna start with one. Um, this comes from UCLA, the newsroom UCLA EDU, and it says audiences favor shows with diverse casts and content that come from an authentic perspective. Broadcast scripted shows with casts featuring 31 to 40% people of color had the highest median ratings among white, Black, Latinx, and Asian households, as well as viewers 18 to 49. In addition, shows with at least, this right here, with at least 31% credited writers of color landed well with audiences. They had the highest median ratings for broadcast viewers 18 to 49, along with Latinx and Asian households, and came in second for white and Black households. So as a whole,
Hmm.
ah, oh, I'm not done. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I'm not done. Mm-mm. Mm. This is coming from Forbes, okay? Report. Hollywood loses 10 billion a year over lack of Black representation. The entertainment industry's slow progress to invest more cash in Black talent and creators in Hollywood is costing the industry billions, a McKinsey report released. And this article is from 2021, May 11th of 2021.
Wow.
The US movie and television industry, not including sports or reality television, is estimated by McKinsey to bring in 148 billion annually and could increase annual revenue by 7% or about $10 billion a year by improving Black representation on set and on screen, according to the report. Audience interest for diverse storytelling is on the rise. McKinsey found between 2017 and 2019 alone, demand more than doubled for new television. Sorry, these progressive lenses for new television projects that featured casts made up of at least 40% racial and ethnic minorities. Black-led projects, however, are still underfunded and undervalued in Hollywood, according to McKinsey, despite the fact that they often see higher returns than other projects. So I feel like the numbers ain't numbering for, I know it has been said that Black films just don't do well. Number one, they don't do well globally, which I don't believe that. And it looks like statistics support that if there was more of an investment into quote unquote Black shows or more diverse casts, that they would see, it would be reflected in the revenue. So the question is, why don't they want a bigger revenue if they could have it? That's the
Excellent
thing.
question.
So that's going to lead down the rabbit hole. But in terms of Black shows, sorry, my dog, he's right here. He's trying to get some affection. He's going to make his debut here in a minute. But I feel like when you have Black shows, like I was reading someone on Reddit. He's a European guy, but he said that they classify films or they look at it where they were filmed. So like an Issa Rae film or, Denzel Washington, it would be an American film and not necessarily like a Black movie. So I think outside of the US, the perception is different.
Yeah.
And they classify things differently, whether it may be people or, films. But I think this reinforces just separation among groups of people. So if you continue to have, Black shows are like the same old thing over and over, whether it's some buffoonery or some Black poor family, like you got to be Black, you got to be a slave, you got to be selling drugs, or like all these things. And I'm not saying all shows are like that.
Right.
But when there's not enough balance between them, I think that's a problem. That is a definite problem.
We have so many stories to tell. There's so much out there. One I can think off the top of my head, a movie that Spike Lee did that I was so impressed with. He's one of my favorite directors. He did a movie called Miracle on Saint Anna Marie, something like that. And there was just things that I didn't know about. I didn't know that the soldiers dealt with. I've heard about it, but when you actually see it played out on screen, it's like, oh, they dealt with that. In addition to being Black, in addition to this, in addition to all these other things that, come with being Black. Yeah, that's interesting. Where's all this money going?
We know where it ain't going. We know where it ain't going.
Yeah.
Because there's a power dynamic there. So why, if they know they're losing, and they know they're losing it, they know they're losing $10 billion. Their why has to be stronger than money, which is scary because when you empower people,
yes,
that's probably going to be a problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there's so much to say there, but
yeah.
I'm sorry, I was looking up Miracle at Saint Anna.
Okay.
That's what it's called. by Spike Lee. Check it out, and maybe we could do a
Maybe,
movie review on
maybe.
that.
And
You know,
speaking of Spike Lee, that it made me think of, I think this was a, I was gonna say maybe it was a film class, but I think it was after this film class.
mhm.
Eh, an acting class. No, maybe it was an acting class. It was something like that that I was attending, and but I feel like it was at Lincoln Land. But whoever the instructor was, because it's been a long time ago,
Mhm.
mentioned that there was casting in St. Louis for a Spike Lee film. And so I had the, you could like self-submit, or maybe he was producing it, something. Spike Lee was attached to it somehow. But there was a couple in the class. They were older, they were older, and the wife said, "Oh, well, I guess we can't audition because we're white." And
Mhm.
like, and this was a diverse bunch that we were with, and we were like, "What? Have you seen the Spike?" And the teacher said, "Have you seen the Spike Lee film?" Like, and
Mhm.
he started naming films and actors, Danny Aiello, just started naming people, and they were like, "Oh," but just that misconception that just right off the bat, they were like, "Well, we can't because we're white." So that means you think Spike Lee only casts Black people. Like they didn't feel like they could be a part,
Right.
And I feel like uh, having Black shows, it does separate us. Because even though the stories might not be flattering to other groups,
Yes.
you're still a part of the story.
Yes.
Like they say, everybody's a villain in somebody's story.
Yeah.
Seriously, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my take. And I think I had one more article.
Hmm.
Bear with me.
Sure.
Mm. Oh, I don't know if I should be disturbed by this or not, but
Newsflash.
I'm, this is from NBC News, and this is from February 13th of 2024.
Okay.
Black audiences consume more media and TV than any other group, but they want better representation. And this article goes on to give statistics. Despite being the highest share of media consumers, Black individuals in the US and abroad often feel as though they are misrepresented or underrepresented in mainstream media, according to a Nielsen report. Black
Mhm.
Americans regularly outpace the rest of the general US population in terms of media consumption, clocking more than 81 hours per week with media such as television, radio, and the internet. For Black people 65 and older, that jumps up to 92 hours a week. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
That's a lot. So
What does that mean? That we're taking an interest. We want to know what's going on in our world. We want to keep abreast of things. I would say yes. Entertainment,
mhm,
yes.
mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. That's wow.
Yeah,
Something else.
yeah. So
Uh,
yeah.
what was that number again? Of the $1 million that
Oh,
the
10 billion,
10 billion.
10
Yeah,
billion.
10
Or if they
billion.
increase by 7%, if they increase their budgets by 7%, that would give them 10 billion. Yes. And I'm gonna leave in the description box, I'm going to leave links to these articles too
Great.
for the
Yes.
audience.
Yes. Yeah. And hey, as always, put some comments and questions.
Mhm.
Uh, I know I'd mentioned this before, speaking of $10 billion, um, how Hollywood became so. The actress Phyllis Yvonne Stickney, you may know her. She played the mother of Taye Diggs in Stella Got Her Groove Back. She also played the sister opposite of Angela Bassett in What's Love Got to Do with It. And she's it's an interview she did on YouTube where she recommended this book called An Empire of Their Own: How the Jews Invented Hollywood by Neil Gabler.
Mm,
It's quite interesting. Um, Honestly, I after reading 300 some odd pages, I got a little bored with it because it was the same stuff over and over again.
okay.
A lot of egos, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of arrogance, a lot of manipulation. I don't want to give everything away, but it's a really interesting book
Mm.
on how Hollywood became the way it is, which explains why the way it is now and the way it has been, and why it's so hard to break into Hollywood.
So what you're saying is that book
Mm.
will probably make a lot of people mad, or some people mad.
It very well could. It very well could. Check it out.
I am. I wrote.
I ain't lying.
I'm.
But listen here, we ain't got no Phyllis Yvonne Stickney money or no
Right.
Tay Diggs or Angela Bassett money. But we'd love for y'all to come on the show.
Please, please put some razzle dazzle on it.
Okay. So are we at our time or can we
we
chit chat a little more?
we are at time. We're
Okay.
at time. Yep.
Well, I'm gonna ring my bell twice because as always, I always forget to ring it in the beginning. And now we're gonna sign off, and we hope that you will join us the next time on our next episode of Chatter 15 Minutes of Fame.
Bye, everybody, and thanks for watching.